everyone. It's Saturday. That means it's Chat with Mac. We're glad to have you with us. Thankful for all of you that watch us every week. Please subscribe to our channel. We would love you to spread the word about what we do here, especially since we're talking about a lot of good stuff. And for those of you that are new to what we do, welcome, welcome, welcome. Microsoft is going to come out with, I now forget how long it's, or next month, right? Microsoft Copilot. So it's going to use AI. I think if Nadine was just telling me that they have such a huge stake in ChatGPT to help streamline tasks around across 365 apps. Tell us about the significance of this, because man, let me tell you, this AI thing. You want to know the funny thing, Nadine? I want to say this was last year or 2 years ago. No, it was 2 years ago. I remember Nadine was really touching on AI, something heavy, and he was saying how AI was going to change how we do mundane tasks. And here we are 2 years later. Boom. But anyway, tell us more about that, because it's funny how all these things that Nadine says start happening.
Well, so it's really exciting times right now, and we're at an inflection point where AI technology is coming front and center with this rollout. So just to give you a little bit of background on this, I think it was a few days ago I did a little video. I don't know if Mac was in there or not, but I did a little video on how ChatGPT is integrated into Microsoft Edge. Mm-hmm. So you can have, like on a web page, you can have some text highlighted, and you can hit that, little icon for the ChatGPT option. They don't call it ChatGPT. It's like a question and answer session, but it will pull that information that you've highlighted and then expand on that. Or you can ask them anything that you will ask ChatGPT. And it will answer, and you don't have to set up an account with in ChatGPT or with OpenAI. So it's all integrated into that. So that was the first step. The next thing that is going to start rolling out, and this is the amazing part, it's going to start rolling out in the next couple of months, and it is integration of the same technology in all of the Microsoft apps: Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, right? So that's the power of it. So think about it. Let's say you want to write an article about AI. You can just ask Word, the ChatGPT option in Word. You can just ask it to write an article about AI, and you can give them some parameters, and it will just write you the article. And then all you have to do is proof it, make a few little changes, and you're done. Now, this technology, Microsoft is calling it Copilot. And it reminds me from years ago of little Clippy. Remember that Clippy?
The Clippy, yeah.
If only we had AI technology at that time, that Clippy might have been successful. And even though that Clippy wasn't very successful, to this day, it was like 10 years ago, we're still talking about Clippy.
Yeah.
So think about all that intelligence now coming to your Word, Excel, PowerPoint. I mean, I can just imagine the possibilities where you want to have some pivot tables created on some data. You just highlight the data, tell Microsoft Copilot, hey, can you create me a pivot table with these parameters? And boom, it's there. All you have to do is do a little tweaks, and you're done. And that's, building that AI into everyday apps. I think that's what's going to really change our day-to-day operations. That's what's going to interweave AI into our daily lives, so to speak, because the Microsoft apps are available on pretty much all platforms out there, right? We have them on handhelds, we have them on tablets, we have them on PCs, Macs, whatever have you. Having that AI built in is going to be just a game changer. I know it's going to be a game changer for me because, yeah. I mean, I have used ChatGPT a lot of times. Like, I need to create a batch file or a code, and I'll just, I can do it myself, but why when somebody else can do it, right? So I just ask ChatGPT, and it just throws out the code and, a few modifications, and boom, it's done. So I think going into the future, we're going to see more and more of that happening. And then it's again that, the boiling frog scenario where we're not even going to realize in the next few years we're going to be so heavily dependent on AI we won't even think about it, right? Now, the question, of course, in everybody's mind is, how is this going to be released? Who is going to get this Copilot option? So, as of right now, I don't think this is proprietary information. I'm pretty sure it's not. So, as of right now, people who have Microsoft 365 E3 and E5 plans are automatically going to get Copilot. People who are on business premium, business basic, those plans, they are not automatically going to get Copilot. And I don't know if you'll be able to pay an additional fee for Copilot option. Right now, that's not on the table, but I know for sure that E3, E5 plans in Microsoft 365 are going to get Copilot. So all of a sudden, it's if you have the E3, E5, that distance is going to be a lot more now. So you're differentiating the enterprise class plans from the regular business plans, and that AI is really going to be the transformative force that's there now.
Okay, so do you actually answer my question? Because I'm pretty sure, most people don't know what the E5, that's enterprise level, correct?
Those are the enterprise. Yeah, all the plans. Yeah, and this is an easy way to kind of figure it out. All the plans that start for E for enterprise, E3, E5, they're enterprise plans. All the Microsoft 365 business plans, if they have the word business, those are small business plans, business basic, standard, premium, whatever have you. So it's really now we're going to get into this area of once it starts with Office apps, I think it's going to kind of flow into other things. For example, maybe into cars that you can talk to, right? Cars have voice recognition, but usually it sucks. And with ChatGPT option there, wow, I mean, it's just going to transform the world. You're going to ask me something, Mac?
Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of questions swirling in my head actually, because with the Copilot, I know you were saying that it's going to help you a lot on the enterprise level. Because when people think about these things, at least I'm trying to think of it from the consumer side. It's probably like, well, it'll help the those guys that are technicians or whatever. Let's say somebody, an admin assistant, and they have the ability to use that. How will somebody that isn't necessarily on the technical plane be able to benefit from this on the enterprise level from this?
I looked a little deeper into the Copilot option, and actually Microsoft sends us information before things are released. So they sent us some information. So here's the beauty of how this is going to work. Let me first give you a use scenario. Let's say you're an office assistant, an office administrative assistant, and you need to write an article about a meeting that is on Monday at 9 o'clock. You already have that meeting for your boss, for 9 o'clock Monday morning. And you have the details of the meeting in there, and you have some documents related to the company that the meeting is with, some of the contacts at that company. So now you can go into Word and you can say, write me an article to prepare for the meeting on Monday, 9 a.m. And Word just does it with you. And how is it going to do this? It's going to know who the meeting is with. It's going to identify the contacts in that meeting. It's going to identify the files that might be sitting in OneDrive or SharePoint related to that meeting. It's going to get the context out of those files, put it in that article, use references. So now you have a full-fledged document with images, graphics, graphs, whatever, referencing actual documents for your meeting. Because the way Copilot is going to be implemented is it is going to have the Office apps on the front end. It's going to have the Microsoft Graph API on one side, which is the Graph API is what gives you insight into all data in Microsoft's cloud. And then it's going to have the ChatGPT component, the large language model component, the LLM component that actually brings the AI thing into it. So it has all the context, the contact, the resources, and then that AI can pull from all this information and create that magnificent document for your meeting on Monday morning.
So
I can't wait until it gets released, and it's gonna. I mean, I think it's gonna just blow some people away. I mean, think about it. An attorney who needs to create something for their court appointment for a specific case, and that case is already in his calendar. All he needs to do is, hey, put together a document for my court hearing on blah blah blah. The thing about AI is it's going to find things that you may not have even realized are relative or associated with what you want to do. And
mm,
that's the power of AI. I mean, it's just going to be transformative. We're just at the cusp of that inflection point where our world is going to change within the next few months, and right now we're just at that curve. That's where we are. So yeah,
this is
amazing times.
amazing. This is like Nadine was talking about all of this. Like, I mean, this was like I want to say it was like during almost maybe the tail end of the pandemic or mid-pandemic, where I know I don't know if we were testing it, but we were there was somewhere involvement where a beer company was looking for AI to give them an understanding of what they were in their warehouse, with cameras and all of the other stuff. And I was excited then, and you were just saying, listen, this AI thing is going to go, it's going to go critical mass critical, whatever you want to call it, because and now here we are, like, holy crap. I mean, ChatGPT, I think we just heard about ChatGPT at the beginning of this year. Here
Yeah.
we are in March. It's
Yeah.
like,
So,
boom.
that's what happens when new technologies come into play. The rate of change increases.
It's
So
crazy.
and this rate of change doesn't increase in a linear fashion. It changes exponentially, right?
Yeah.
So for example, maybe an analogy would be if a human can do a certain, like if a human can write 5 articles in an hour, an AI can write a lot faster, right? I mean, it's a machine, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like when the automobiles were first invented and they came out and available, they were made available to the general public. It transformed the transportation industry, right? This is that inflection point where AI is going to transform us, our lives. I mean, this is one of those times we don't realize it because we are in it. We're like that frog that's boiling. We don't
Yeah.
realize it.
Yeah.
But next few months, once this starts releasing, once this starts going out, it's going to be amazing. I mean, I can't wait to start using this on a regular basis. It's like when spell checkers first came out, right? I mean,
Spell check was a beautiful thing. For those of us that, I'm a decent speller, but there were some times where I was like, good Lord, when that came out, I thought it was like the best thing since sliced bread. And I think spell check came out when I was in high school, and it was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. So,
Yeah, so think about it. I mean, if you have AI create an article for you, number one, you don't have to worry about grammar. Most of the time, AI
mm,
can do grammar really well. The only thing
mhm,
you have to make sure is that whatever information is in there is in context of your meeting, right? Because AI can get confused as far as the context goes. But combine that with the Graph API from Microsoft. The way to look at it is Graph API basically gives applications and insight into the data that's sitting in Microsoft Cloud. So if you're a Microsoft Cloud shop, you have OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams, all of that. AI is going to be a godsend for you because I just mentioned Teams, and I just realized, Graph API works with Teams as well. So when you create that document, it's going to get your chats you might have had with somebody in one of those contacts that's in your calendar entry for 9 o'clock on Monday, right? Those chats, if there was something said in there in quotes, it might pull that into that article. I mean, it's just the in a way, our universe is just changing and we didn't even realize it. It's just going to be amazing. So next few months, I would say if you have any of the plans in Microsoft 365, keep an eye out for it. This is one of those things where the world changes and we want to really take a pulse of how it's changing. We are
yeah,
in that change.
man. Amazing. I love it. I love it.
So if you haven't, and if you missed the last video that we did about Microsoft Edge and AI being built in, it's that little icon will change if you get the latest update on Edge. That icon in the top right side will change. It becomes like a B. If you click that, you can go into chat and you can type in ask it stuff or highlight something on the page and ask it stuff and see how well that works. And of course, this is the first implementation of something like that that's available to the general public. So we're just starting out. I mean, think of it like version 1.0. And because this type of change happens exponentially once the change starts to happen, how different is version 2.0 going to be? We probably won't even recognize it. It is going to be that different. And then once this technology starts flowing into other devices, that's what's going to really, it's going to be amazing. I mean, if this technology makes it into cars, into other appliances and stuff, is just some amazing stuff. It's gonna. I really believe we are going to see our lives change. So we really need to pay attention to what's happening right now, because our lives are about to change, and a lot of us don't even realize it.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Yeah.
So with that, I think we'll call it a day. We'll let people think a little bit about this. And if you haven't got the latest update for Microsoft Edge, go ahead and get that. Check out the ChatGPT option in there. And now, sometimes, it can be a little slow. I mean, it's 1.0 version, right? So sometimes it can be a little slow. Like the other day, I asked it something. I forget what I asked, and it was taking a long time to answer. So I asked it, "Are you still working on this?" And it replied, "Yes, I'm having a hard time connecting."
Get out.
So the thing is that it was still working on it, and it remembered what I had asked it, and my conversation with it was in context of what I was asking of it. So it's now you can have a more intelligent, concise conversation with a machine, really.
Ooh, I love it. But I know some people that are just like, I don't know about that.
Now, don't worry about it. The machines that we're talking to, they don't have arms, they don't have digits, they can't make stuff just yet. Maybe that time will come. Machines making machines, right? We've all heard that.
That's a whole nother discussion that I'm not sure people are ready for.
So with that, I think we'll call it a day. Everybody think about that. If you have questions, feel free to write us, ask us. We're happy to have these techie conversations. And for you business decision makers out there, you're probably thinking this is a techie talk, but really not, because it's going to transform your business.
It is.
It's going to transform your business.
Yep.
Awesome. Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good one.